The Premier League title race will be over in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks today, we will know who is Premier League champions. Arsenal have got 2 games remaining. Manchester City have got 3. We're going to jump into it right now. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video right now. It's free and easy to do. And big up for 5,000 subs. We're now on our rate to 6K. We launched this channel at the beginning of March, and now we've already hit 5,000 subscribers. The support is absolutely unreal. It generally is, and I'm very, very grateful. So make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. Get your comments in too. Arsenal have Manchester United on Sunday. Lots of fans, lots of rival fans have always said Manchester United is a very, very tough place to go for Arsenal. And of course, Man United, we all know, are the party poopers. They've already destroyed Liverpool's season. They somehow managed to knock them out the FA Cup, and they somehow did them in the league. So that's not going to be an easy game. And then Arsenal have got Everton. Manchester City have got 3 games. Fulham away. Lots of fans think that's going to be one of their toughest games. I think out of the 3, it is going to be their toughest. Obviously, me being a Spurs fan, I thought a few weeks ago that when I saw Manchester City versus Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it would be a mouth-watering tie for the neutrals. Looking at our recent form and the fact that we are conceding goals galore, we've conceded 15 goals in our last 4 games. I do think, however, City could quite easily steamroll us. Fulham away, however, is not an easy game. 12:30 kickoffs. We've seen before, building up to the title races, that these early kickoffs can be a bit of a wobble to a title race. We've seen in times where Liverpool this season have lost or drawn numerous 12:30 kickoffs. Arsenal quite easily dispatched Bournemouth. Could have been 4, could have been 5. The way they played the first half, Martin Odegaard balling out, Havertz's first touch. Saka obviously gets a crucial penalty. Man United away. Let's talk about Arsenal first. Man United away. If Man United lose tonight against Crystal Palace, I honestly think Arsenal could quite easily go to Old Trafford and score 4 or 5 goals. This is a Man United team that have drawn recently at home to the likes of Burnley. This is a Man United team that went behind not once but twice to Sheffield United. They are an awful footballing side. They've just got match winners in their side like Bruno Fernandes. But Man United are 8th. If they lose tonight, they really are in the gutter. They are absolutely finito. If they lose tonight, we could talk about Man United not even getting in Europe. Chelsea are above them. You know, Chelsea have got 10 goal difference on them. Newcastle are above them. Man United have to win tonight. If they lose, then their season's practically over. If they lose, Arsenal go to Old Trafford against the Man United team that have practically nothing to play for, because their Europa League, I guess you could say, charge would be shattered. If they win, however, or get a draw tonight, Man United would go back above Chelsea, be 1 point away from Newcastle and 5 points away from Spurs. If they win tonight, they go 3 points above Chelsea, 1 point above Newcastle, and 3 points off of Spurs. Man United have to win tonight. They have to. Now, obviously, both sides of it, if they lose, Arsenal could quite easily, regardless of Man United's result, Arsenal could quite easily steamroll Man United. And if you're an Arsenal fan, I know at times, I imagine you're glued to Manchester City's game, but you got to focus on yourself. You have to focus on yourself. This narrative that Arteta has fouled if you lose a league title to Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp is praised as one of the greatest managers in the Premier League, and he lost 4 league titles to Guardiola. You know, Arteta eventually does have to go and win a league title. You know, maybe if it's not this year, it has to win it next year. But this narrative that he should be sacked or whatever is you know, based on the fact that he hasn't won a league title yet. It's his 4th year as a manager. He's been in 2 title races. He's been in Europa Leagues. He's been in Champions Leagues. Like, they've just got to stick by him and give him a couple more players in the summer and go and win a league title. But if they finish runners up to Manchester City, you know, everyone thought that they would drop off this season. Everyone thought they weren't good enough this season. Everyone thought that Havertz was a bad signing. Arteta's proved him wrong. Proved everyone wrong. And one of their big signings in the summer had a major injury in like the second game of the season. So, like for Arsenal, if you lose the league by 2 points, you have to go. Arsenal have to go and win the league within the next 2 years. But let's talk about City. Guardiola has got Manchester City in absolutely insane form. They have not lost a game this calendar year in the Premier League. They are scoring goals at the volume of goals they're scoring. 4 against Palace, 3 against Madrid, 5 against Luton, 4 against Brighton, 5 against the Wolves, 2 against Forest, 4 against Villa, 3 against Man United, 6 against Luton Town in the 5th round of the FA Cup. They are in insane form. If they are going to slip up, it's going to be this Saturday. Gary Neville said on his podcast with Sky Sports that he doesn't think they're going to slip up. If they're going to, it's against Fulham. That is the game they're going to do it. Fulham at home recently, since March, have done very, very well. They've beaten Brighton 3-0. They've beaten Tottenham 3-0. A fair play. They lost to Liverpool, but Liverpool that game were unbelievable. They drew to a Palace side. They narrowly lost to Newcastle. They've beaten Bournemouth, who have been in great form. They've drawn with Liverpool in the semi-finals of the League Cup back in January. Their home form is practically where they pick up 90% of their points. They drew at the weekend against Brentford, and they've drawn their last couple of games. They had a quite convincing win at the London Stadium a couple of weeks ago. But now, for them, it's about we all know they're not going to go down. They're far too good for that. If they win both their games, they'll be on a maximum of 52 points. So they can't, they'll be on 50 points. So they can't get into a European place. They'll probably finish anywhere between 10th and 13th. But Fulham have got this knack of, at times, upsetting the big teams. They've already beaten Arsenal this season. Let's not forget that. They've beaten Arsenal this season, and they drew to Arsenal at the Emirates. So they've got a knack of when it comes down to it, turning up in the very big games. I think that if Arsenal's mentality is right, they'll go and beat Man United and they'll go and beat Everton. Gary Neville said that whenever Manchester City have played first this season, normally they've won, and normally after that, Arsenal have gone and lost or drawn the game. Now, of course, Manchester City have the early kickoff, and Arsenal have the 4:30 kickoff against Manchester United. If Arsenal are going to slip up, it's this weekend against Manchester United. Everyone doubted them against Spurs. They blew them away. Everyone said it's Bournemouth's a very, very hard game. They blew them away. Everyone doubted them against Chelsea. They blew them away. Wolves, tough game after a Champions League defeat. They blew them away. Arsenal won 4 games on the bounce now. They're in fantastic form. They've scored, 15 goals or something in their last 4 games. Man United are the ultimate party poopers. It's a tough place to go. Man United probably are in a position where they don't want Arsenal or City to win the league, because you think back to the early Premier League rivalry, Wenger against Ferguson, and you think back to the, Manchester rivalry they've had since the beginning of time, and obviously City are now good. But for Man City, if they win against Fulham and Arsenal were to drop points, for me, the league will be done. If Man United somehow get a result against Arsenal and Manchester City batter Fulham, which could easily happen, the league's done. But do not be surprised if Manchester City, they could quite easily slip up against Fulham. I've just got this feeling. I've been saying it for weeks. Brighton and Wolves, fair play. They absolutely Man City destroyed them. In the Forest game, though, Chris Wood had chances. They had more shots at goal than Manchester City that game. Fair enough, it's a Forest team that are fighting for their lives. But Fulham are obviously a much better side than Nottingham Forest. I've just got this feeling, one by hook or crook, Manchester City could slip up. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't, because we know how good they are. We know how good they are in front of goal. Erling Haaland is in unbelievable form. 5 goals in his last 2 games, including 4 against the Wolves side. He's practically secured himself a golden boot. And of course, Manchester City have still got an FA Cup to play. They could quite easily still do a double. They got Manchester United in the FA Cup final on the 25th of May. And then after that, we're going into the Euros only a week or two after. So it's a massive, massive month for both teams, for Manchester City and Arsenal. Arsenal can only do what they can, and they've got to, their fan base, as much as I despise them, they have to believe they can do it. They have to believe. Arteta has got to make them believe. You know, that Man United game is going to be one hell of a game. It's going to be one hell of a game in terms of if Man City win, everything is riding on that game. We're going to see how strong and mentally strong these Arsenal players are. You know, let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. Like I said, we just hit 5K subscribers, which is absolutely insane, genuinely. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. I am out.